What's up, you guys? This is Sparkileptic from Region 2, and I'm about to be playing the first segment of Resident Evil Revelations on the Xbox 360. As you guys might know, Resident Evil Revelations was first released on the 3DS to much acclaim, and because of the success it gained and the positive vibes it received, Capcom is now taking this game and turning it into a full-on fledged HD console game because, well, in all honesty, this game really deserves it. It brought back everything that people loved about the Resident Evil games, from the survival horror to the adventure to the whole storyline and how it unraveled. So I believe it's a really great step from Capcom to actually pull this off. So here we go, Resident Evil Revelations. We all got used to that sound every single time, and voice in specific every time we started the Resident Evil game. And I'm really excited to actually see how this game unravels and opens up. I'm going to be playing the first part of this game, which is, I believe, the first, as it shows here, the first episode called Into the Depths. And then other people are going to be picking up from where I left off, or picking up the game from the point that I stopped playing, and they pick up from there. So obviously we're going to be going through the campaign mode this time around. New game, obviously. Nothing to load. It's a completely fresh start to the game. Really excited to see how it plays out. Normal. We're definitely not going to be going through casual or infernal for this playthrough. Sticking to normal. The Resident Evil games have always been really impressive in what they offer in regards to ideas, even though the last couple of games have been a bit too action focused, and Capcom may have lost track about what the fan base and the actual games offered and what was awesome about them, and so they made them a bit more action oriented. They were still solid games for what they offered, but there's something that was completely missing that Revelations seems to have brought back, which is this whole sense of urgency, threat. There's not much ammo for you to use up. So I'm really looking forward to see how the game unravels in regards to that. This is obviously the wonderfully and beautiful Jill Valentine, and this guy just looks like an overweight Chris Redfield. I don't know. That's the only thing that I can see every time I see him. It's just a chubby, overweight Chris Redfield with a untamed beard. We'll call that. So so it's interesting that this Resident Evil starts in the middle of the sea. It's not on land. It's not inside a facility, and it's looking really slick so far. This is obviously a CG cinematic, and these cinematics are a dime a dozen. Nothing really to comment on or to talk about besides I'd give kudos to the animators, I guess. Well, it's a nice way to open up with this whole pan shot. Goes all the way up to show you the location that they're in. Abandoned ship, as it looks. So Jill and her partner smoothly slide all the way up to the ship. This looks to be interesting. The last game that featured zombies, or the undead, if you'd like, on ships was obviously Dead Island Riptide. I'm hoping this game is actually a much better experience than that was, as much fun as it was. And so let's see. And you guys need to tell me, does this guy not look like Chris Redfield or not? Just drop me a comment and let me know if I'm mistaking how Chris actually looks like. So here we go. So as you can see, the gameplay goes back to a third-person perspective view, which is fantastic. Free roaming camera. You can look around from all around you. Another notable scene that I remember from these games is basically, I believe it was Crisis also. As you can see here, we have nothing in the inventory. I'm just browsing through it so I could show you guys how the UI, or the user interface. Crisis also took place on a boat. It was also rainy. But I'm not here to compare games. The movement looks kind of solid. I always like to scan my environments when I'm playing these games. I'm never one to just go in one direction and keep going. Well, of course you can shoot it off, Miss Valentine. And 1, 2, bam! Here we go. Alright, so the first thing I noticed that I fell in love with is none of that nonsense QuickTime events that were abundantly available in Resident Evil 6. So you know, this location really, it's just all that crap and blood and guts on the floor makes me really not want to be around when smell-o-vision becomes part of video games. That wouldn't be something attractive. So simple, press the button and door opens. So this whole flashlight ambient to the game really adds a lot of atmosphere. Great voice acting. If you guys just heard, oh, what was that?
Hey.
Oh, okay, okay. So
I don't think we're alone.
great cues, great sound. The lighting also plays a good role in this and adds a lot of dramatic effect. So see, so as you can see, there's stuff happening in the background. So you know, as you know, that grate on the ceiling was just dropping liquids, just adds to the mood. I would have really been much more afraid if I was in Jill's shoes and really on an abandoned ship with these strange sounds taking place. But you know, she's got to be badass for what she does. It's great that they're really exploring. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. I would have wanted a bit more detail in regards to the undead, but you know, ultimately, I'm playing this game for the ambient and the atmosphere that it provides, not for the details of the undead. The less I see of the undead or the zombies or infected, if you like, the better. It's a great sound design. Very. It brings me back to the days when I first started playing Dead Space. This whole fantastic mood of being in a desolate area, completely abandoned, dark. You barely can see what's going on. And you know, I just thought about it. Capcom did a great job in transferring this game from the 3DS to the HD platforms. It really looks slick and smooth. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, these mice are a bit too fast to be normal mice. I'm not sure if they're infected or. Okay.
Shorted out.
The camera is a bit jerky when Jill looks at these things, so you can see how it instantly cuts. But I think it's just Capcom trying to give us back this whole sensation of Resident Evil games, where you're limited to the camera angle you see things from. Only back then, it's because of the limitations of technology. Over this in this age, I think it's just an homage, much more than anything. So the first thing I like to interact with, obviously, is I love seeing how many things I can interact with, how many buttons I can press. Obviously, you see a locker. I'm sure you can open it, and here we go. This is very Resident Evil 2. The way the locker kind of opens up and Jill goes down and picks up the ammo. That's pretty impressive. Okay, woo. Okay, this place does not look promising at all. I mean, let me tell you one thing. When you walk in and you see blood and guts all over the room and a dead body on a floor on a table, you know there's something wrong going on here, and you should just turn around and just get the hell out of there. You shouldn't be focusing on what to do inside. Oh, let's see. I can search something. Oh, what's
Parker,
this?
give me a hand here.
What could be blinking in the midst of all these entrails? It's a shame that there's a loading screen between activating the grate. You know, I was standing right over it, but okay, so I guess it's a cinematic, so could be justified. No, okay. Let's see. Ugh, organic. Very much like taking a look at some organ or a gun.
I got something.
Okay, but doesn't she already have a gun? I mean, if you're going to, if you know, I just okay. Let's go on with the story. I'm not sure why she'd be interested in picking up a gun. Maybe she's looking for a specific gun. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. That's just horrible. Oh, that's just horrible. Whoa, a severed hand.
So it's not Chris.
So she's looking for Chris's gun, or Chris as a whole. Maybe this is his gun on a different hand, and she was able to scan it. The hell is that? Okay, alright. Well, at least it's not Chris. That's not what she's looking for. You can drop the gun now, Miss Valentine. That's not Chris. Okay. Alright, okay. Let's get that. Alright, here we go. So this is the action sequence. I don't think I'm a big fan about how this whole thing is taking place. The whole blood and the animation is pretty clunky and wooden. Even when you look at the actual monster, it does not look threatening. It looks more like a plasticine kind of thing, or clay, modeled out of clay. Even with the blood splatters, they look like blood glops. But again, I will be playing this game for the experience and the atmosphere. Graphics, I need to keep in mind that, or everyone needs to keep in mind, this is a port from the 3DS game. They really remodeled the graphics, obviously, as much as they can, but this was not created with consoles in mind initially. So obviously, the Capcom can be forgiven for small glitches in the graphics. And that was the part I just played. Not really as, not much to do in regards to action. But it gave us a good introduction to how the game can play out. The adventure elements, you know, picking up items, searching through stuff, and, you know, through blood and guts. You know, and gave us an idea about how the aiming sequence and system is going to take place in regards to shooting weapons. Wasn't really too impressed with that, but again, this is a 3DS game, so you know we need to keep that in mind. On the other hand, this is ultimately a game that's going to be played on consoles, and for those of us who haven't played the 3DS version of the game, may actually find the action to be a bit, you know, stagnant and old school for their liking. Thank you for watching. Keep watching the series of Capcom's Resident Evil Revelations. You can click on the link below to watch the next video, which takes place after this part. Or you could just go and check out the whole playlist that Capcom is setting up. So thank you for watching, and gamers salute.
This sunny and idyllic Mediterranean coast was the site of one of the world's greatest structures.